Hey, welcome to the official Windows 8 channel, and this is a little video explaining kind of the basics of buying a computer. And you'll be confronted, if you go to the stores, with two types of computer hardware, I would say. And people will, show up to the store and see that you've got these basically Intel machines with Core i3, i5, and i7, but also AMD machines that have a different way of being rated. And so people are going to say, well, what's the difference? Should I buy an AMD? Should I buy a Intel? The video today is really purely, part of it is on the technical aspects and part of it is on my pure way of thinking. I'm a tech guy. I've been a tech guy for 15 years on my own. I have my own little company here in Montreal. First things first, buying an AMD machine is not buying necessarily something that is less of a quality product than an Intel. But that said, I would say that the probability of having some problems seems to be slightly higher, and when I say slightly, is really, really small. One of the major problems with the AMD is the fact that they seem to run much more hot than the Intel processors, and they seem to need more cooling. And to give you an idea, I've almost never seen an Intel laptop shut down on its own because it was too hot. I did see AMD laptops shut down because it was too hot. So that gives you an idea of the way the laptop will generate heat. Probably the main device that does heat in a computer is the processor. It really works hard and makes generates a lot of high temperatures. Why people buy AMD machines is almost exclusively because of price. For basically a similar performance, AMD chips are less expensive, which brings a less expensive computer. So people will buy AMD not because of they like it better than an Intel, but it's because laptop will, of course, be cheaper, or your desktop will be cheaper. AMD does make a few chips that are extremely good quality, and it's not necessarily because of quality problems that I will say that I'll buy more an Intel. But one of the key features of Intel that I always find is the fact that an Intel processor machine seems to be, on the long term, many years of use, less prone to problems than will an AMD machine. And that's probably because of the heat generated. The more your computer runs hot, the higher the risk of long-term electronic problems inside your computer. So you got to be careful with that, because I think that's one of the major problems of AMD. Yet it doesn't mean you shouldn't buy AMD machines. They could be quite good, and if they're well thought out and well ventilated, it's still a good buy. I would say that AMD went, it's kind of a war actually. AMD and Intel are running a big war of whose processor is going to be the most popular and in most machines. AMD had a big edge in the early 2000s. They really made efforts to come out with chips that for the same processing power were actually faster and more powerful than the Intel equivalent. And what that war brought out is a great competition that Intel actually worked really hard to get better. So we need competition because it does make better products in the long term. Tends to bring down the price also. So it is generally admitted that on many of the Intel Core i5 and i7s, processing power and quality of construction is better on the Intel. But AMD is still there. It's still something to think about. But I personally think that in the long run, if you want to have a computer that will probably have less chances of having problems, I'd always go with an Intel processor. I've seen a lot of people, a friend of mine just bought an AMD machine about 6 months ago, and he's telling me how it really eats up and how he even had the computer shut down because it was not working. When it comes too hot, it stops. And I've heard so much of these stories with AMD that's why I'm kind of saying go with Intel, even if it's a little more expensive, because that basically is really much more where it comes down to. You buy an AMD because you just don't want to pay the price of a Intel machine that very often is more expensive. So that's my point of view. Maybe others will have different point of views. This is a great place to talk about it seriously. I don't want to have people say, Intel is no good or AMD is no good. Please explain yourself. Tell me what you think in, more than 3-word or 4-word sentence. Maybe you have your own experience with AMD or Intel and you want to talk about it. Hey, leave a comment. It's always fun to read everybody. So if you enjoyed these little videos explaining a little bit on how the computer works and everything, well, especially in Windows 8, click the subscribe button. Maybe you got that new machine. We have lots of video explaining on how to use Windows 8 and try to do the best with it. So lots of stuff you can see on our channel. And also, if you have a request of a feature, an app that you'd like us to talk more about, let us know and we'll try to put that video online for you. So thanks for watching. Take a look at our other videos on our Windows 8 official channel. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.